So my name is Ahmed Zayed. I'm the founder of Future Career, and I've been an IT professional for the last, 10, 15 years in program management with companies like Microsoft, Cisco, Indeed, PwC. And I've been privileged to help more than 700 people land jobs in US and Canada, in the past few years through coaching, mentoring, and support and volunteering. So I'll hand it over to Mahmoud to introduce himself, and then Samer, and then Jonathan, and then we'll kick it off.
Thank you, Ahmed. So I'm also have been a professional for 25 years in the consulting area with tier 1 consulting firm and at industry leading companies. I've also happened to be a coach and an entrepreneur. And as an independent consultant, I usually seek 2 to 3 projects every year. So I'm in the recruiting cycle now, like more than 50 plus recruiting cycles under my belt, and on the other side, hiring people as well. So I want to put all this together and share my expertise to make your access or your journey to a job very easy, and would love to have fun with it as well while we're at it.
Thank you, Coach Mo. Samer?
You're on mute.
You're mute, Samer. Yeah. Okay, Jonathan, you want to go ahead?
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Samer.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you, Coach Mo. My name is Samer Qassas. I am a human resources and employment expert. I have a master's degree in human resources and training management from UK. I am also accredited from the Board of Human Resources in Canada, as well as an associate member in UK HR board. I'm also accredited in the Gulf area, Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, and helping many job seekers since 18 years to land their dream jobs. I'm very happy to be with you today and share some of this experience and facilitate the journey of the job seekers to land jobs, especially in a very evolving job market and human resources changing a lot lately, ATS system, and a lot of other aspects to smoothen your journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Samer. Jonathan?
Thanks. I'm Jonathan Tennis. I'm currently a program manager at Microsoft. Have experience in the defense industry in the US with General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin, former Army person myself. Been a program manager for probably going on 15, 20 years. All in all, come to these calls because I care deeply about this community. Transition is hard. We have to go through it a lot in life. The market is tough, but the market is the market. And so what we can do is best prepare ourselves, and I hope to share some nuggets of wisdom, knowledge, experience, all the times that I've fallen on my face, and it'll help you to hopefully avoid falling on yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Yeah, so for today, I want to focus on gap analysis and action plan, and I have a document that I can share with everybody, and maybe I can share my screen so that we can focus on some questions that are very, very important for anyone who's going through their career journey in order to make it clear what they are really chasing, because it's overwhelming, it's distracting. There is so many things happening today that makes it very hard for you to focus on your journey. You could start some way and then find someone or something that excites you in a different way, and then unfortunately you lose track of where you're going during this journey. So I want to maybe share my screen and ask you some of those questions and see if you guys are doing those actions or not. So I want to get yes or no in the chat. Have you conducted a gap analysis comparing your skills with your job requirements? Does everybody doing this? You can just type yes or no in the chat. No. Okay. I see yes. Okay, cool. That's good. Basma doing it. Yes. Okay, that's good. Okay, cool. That's good. Anyone else want to share? Ali, yes. Okay, cool. So maybe for the guys who said yes, do you want to share what exactly are you doing? If someone is able to come off mute and just give us a quick idea about, what exactly are you doing in terms of gap analysis here?
Sure, I can go.
Yeah.
So good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So what I do is I see what I'm currently doing at my job, and then check the job description and see what's missing. That I do that, but like the next steps is that I'm kind of like late where what like I know what I have to do, but I'm not doing it.
Okay. And you mind sharing, why do you think you cannot do it, or what's blocking you from doing it?
Um, I guess time, and also I think maybe I'm not sure like what's the outcome of going into the process of studying or filling these gaps. I'm not sure like what's the next step.
Okay, that's a good insights maybe for us to, support you here, Basma, if you're okay. We'll again, we don't want to put you on pressure here. We're just taking this as a reflection for everybody, because everybody's almost doing what you just mentioned. And I'll take a moment here maybe and get insights from Coach Mo, Jonathan, and Samer about what you just mentioned. So you don't know if you can do all the gap analysis to all jobs, and again, this might be related to positioning yourself for one role that makes you focus on. But I'll maybe ask Coach Mo and then Samer and Johnson, again, whoever wants to chime in, to help resolve this problem here. Like, we know that there is gaps, we know that there is some areas, but why are we not able to action it? That's the question. Coach Mo, if you want to chime in here.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind is structure, right? Like laying the blocks over a timeline and to be able to achieve it. Now, sometimes we know we have gaps, but we don't have by when we want to close it. So it keeps dragging. And then there's no by when. So if I don't know where to start, there is no timeline for me to start asking around. So it keeps falling through the cracks because, well, I'll get to it when I know what I want. And then day passes, a week passes, and all that stuff. So the first thing is between you and the gap is a timeline. This gaps needs to be closed in 1 month, 1 week, 2 months, 3 months. There has to be a timeline where you cut, uh, you know, the time on yourself and say by this is going to be done. Now, let me step back and ask you, in what context is the skill gap? Are you currently looking for a job, or you are on a job but closing a gap to upgrade? Because this will make a difference as well.
Good point.
Basma?
Yeah, sure. No, I'm currently working. Just open to see other opportunities or even advance in my company itself at different positions maybe.
Wonderful. That being said, one area to look at is the cost of closing the gap. Okay, and because the cost of closing the gap is low, we tend to relax because I already have a job. So if I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. No big deal. But I can assure you, if you got a notice that your employment is going to end in the week, you'll be running much faster, right?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
it's a human condition, right? So to build that human condition, regardless of where you're at, it's just a matter of a word to yourself. Like, I want to take my expertise, take the bar a little bit higher. And for that, I want to do that within 2 weeks. I want to do that within 1 month. It doesn't matter 2 weeks or 1 month, whatever you're comfortable with, but you relate to your word so that if you say 1 month, you're done after 1 month. And that will have you cascade back the schedule that you need to do to catch that 1 month versus just leaving it without a timeline at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thanks. That's really helpful. Thank you.
Awesome. And again, I don't want this to be only for Basma. Again, this is for everybody. Again, everybody is definitely going through the same journey, and I've been the same place as Basma. When we're in the job, unfortunately, we don't really put ourselves in stress to find the next job. We're really happy a little bit with what we're getting, because we're getting something, and we're still in a job. So I'll pass it on to Jonathan, maybe to chime in, and then Samer, if you have any insights you want to share about this topic specifically. Yeah.
I come to these calls to mainly talk about how my life experiences should be used as a lesson of what not to do in a lot of ways. I'm proud of my experience in education, but I've done some really dumb stuff, or some stuff that you're just you scratch your head at, right? So I've been a program manager, as I said, for years, and I don't have a PMP. I've studied for the test multiple times. I've even sat down and been like, I'm going to do it this time. This time I'm going to do it. Done that 3 or 4 or 5 times, that I've read the PMBOK, studied the PMBOK, got ready for it, and then just sort of chickened out. I sort of made a monster. And it's weird, when we're kids, we create monsters, in our minds and our imagination, and we're scared of the things under the bed. We do that as adults too. We just don't talk about it as much because we're but I made this monster out of this test. I still haven't taken the test. I've set as a goal for me for 2025 to actually sit down and take the test. If I fail it, I fail it. It doesn't make me a lesser program manager or a lesser project manager. It just means I failed a test. I'm going to prepare for it. But it's one of those things that when it talks about gap, it hasn't impacted me negatively in the sense that I have missed out on job opportunities because I don't have a PMP. But I've been able to do just fine in my career. So I've just kind of been like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. But yeah, that's one example of kind of a place where, when it comes to looking at where I've got gaps in who I am and things I know that I need to do, just at this point in time, I've been a program manager for so long, I need to have it. So I can talk to other people and then mentor them and coach them into getting their PMPs, because it is the gold standard. But yeah, so that's one of the things where I know that it's impacted me. I haven't been able to get some of those jobs. I still had other jobs, so I've kind of just been like, oh, I don't need it.
Thank you, Jonathan. Samer?
Thank you very much. So first thing, I would encourage everybody to set a strategy to close gaps and understand the gaps. Most of the time, since in the question, it's clearly directing us to look at the job requirement. So guys, everyone should actually set his own brand. And that is not, I know it's not an easy process to present yourself with the branding. It needs many times a support from experts. Set your brand, choose your profession, and then check the benchmark of requirement of the job in the market. Then compare it with your resume or skills. Every skill or training that you have done long time back that is no longer a requirement for the job today is something to remove, and everything that is in the job requirement is something that creating a gap for you that need to be covered. And this is good strategy always to recognize your gaps and work on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, so again, I'm not going to be able to cover all the questions, but I want to maybe choose 1 or 2 more questions in the gap analysis and then move to the action plan, because I think this is where we need really to focus on getting this into action. And I see someone raised their hand. Farhana, yes, go ahead, please.
Hi, thank you. So I'm actually currently looking for an entry-level job. I completed my computer programming, but the problem I'm actually facing in our program, we covered a lot of area like programming, database, and a lot of things. So when I'm trying to apply for a job, I can decide that which area I should focus. So do you want to give any advice regarding this?
Yeah, no, that's a good question, and I'll maybe give you my insights here, and again see if anyone else want to give you their insights too. So job search is a tough journey, and it takes a lot of work to land a job. Unfortunately, it's not easy. It's not like Amazon, you just swipe left and you get the product next day. It takes a lot of effort to do that. And the first step to do is to define the role that you're really excited to do. And again, being a fresh graduate, that's a little bit difficult because you've never been into the market before. You didn't really know which roles could be the one exciting you. So your best way to handle this is to seek information interviews or go for volunteering or experience that you can build on your own, maybe build your own projects, DIY, as they say, do it yourself. project, to play with what you have today, and start building your portfolio, building your GitHub, whatever that portfolio is, so that you can showcase what you can do, and then keep building on it. So again, for you as a fresh graduate, definitely do informational interviews with people that you are looking to be like them in the market. Maybe someone like myself, Jonathan, or Coach Mo, or whoever, again, in the market. you know uh, Ask them if they are able to give you like 5-10 minutes of their time, to conduct an information interview. Ask them, what is a good day, what is a bad day, what are the skill set, and if this is exciting you, then that could be the role that you need to focus on. Once you have that role that you focus on, then you've decided the way. Your target is becoming more clear. Once your target is becoming more clear, now you need to see what are the gaps in your skills or your experience that you need to work on for the next 2-3 months, or whatever timeline that you put you for yourself, in order to cover those gaps. Does that help you so far, Farhana?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay. Any insights, Coach Mo, Samer, or Jonathan, before I jump to the question?
I can
One of the things
I can say that when we come out of school, and we have multiple topics that we studied at school, one place to start is from the 5, 6, 7 topics that we studied. Which one is the one that you really like? Which one calls to you, right? And when you know one or two, then start the process that Ahmed was saying. Go do informational interviews, asking for more insight about how to become that. Like, for example, if I like database and I would like to be a database developer or a database administrator or blah blah blah, let's take that and then go for people that are working there and ask them more. How do I get my foot into the door? How did you start? And don't go too far, because there's a lot of people of that you have chosen within your immediate circle, friends, relatives, and all the stuff. We're not. I don't advise people to, as a first choice, to go stalk somebody on LinkedIn, for example. Only if you don't have anybody in your network, go do that, because people who know you and they're close to you, they're likely to accept your invitation and would like to help you, right? Because there is some relatedness between you and them. Okay. So that's my take on it. Start by what you like best if you're confused between 4 or 5 topics at your school.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach Mo. Samer or Jonathan, any other follow-ups, or should we move on?
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. I would say, like, a new graduate is in exploring the water stage now. So you might be like exploring different area on your passion, or also on your specialty and your recognized skills. Some of your skills is like the iceberg photo. You don't know about yourself. You might have skills that you don't know it, and we all been in that at some stage, exploring the water. So maybe we have done some customer service job, some sales job. I tried myself with some IT. I didn't like it. Then HR become later. So exploring the water is very important until you figure out what you are best in, and that is going to create your competitive advantage in the job market, and that will show your skills. Definitely all the jobs have all interpersonal skills, but definitely also you have 3 of these skills, you have a high weight in it, and that will create your uniqueness. A little bit of exploration of water and checking with the others. And there is something missing. In my time, we never heard about a career coach. And a career coach is something very worthy today. It would save me years of trials. Sitting there for someone who understands my skills, who can explore it and give me some suggestion and guidance, is very valuable. I really encourage you to use an expert or a career coach. Thank you.
Awesome. Jonathan?
dropped my thoughts in the chat.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, Bahruz, do you have any follow-up question here?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Do you have my voice?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. That is great to have all of the coach here and learning and listening. One of the gap I found was I was looking for a job, a title that I haven't had in my previous experience, but when I work in a company with a specific title, right now, if I want to come back and fill this gap, I haven't had this title, but how this gap can be filled? Do I need to show the interviewer that I did some project, side project myself? How this gap exactly for a specific target can be filled?
Awesome, good question, and I guess that's an area where so many people may ask as well, not only Bahruz. So the way I handle this thing here about the gap and for something that you'd never done before is either this area you can show that you can figure it out and you can really deliver something that is similar from your previous experience, because whatever you've done in the past may have some transferable skills or experience related to what you will be doing in the future. Again, things you could be using a different tool, but the objective is the same, or the outcome is the same. So for example, project management, you can be very good using Asana or using, a Trello or, whatever tool that you are using. But again, the outcome is, delivering the project in the right time. So if you were able to deliver the project in the right time, then you met the objective, you met the outcome, you've done what is needed. So this is where it's a judgment call that you need to take from your side about, what can I bring from my previous experience that can show that I can deliver on this new experience or this new role, so that I can show to the employer that I have confidence to figure it out, or I can deliver the job. You don't need to lie, you don't need to wishy-wash your words. You just need to be realistic and put yourself in the shoe of the employer as well. The employer is going to hire you to solve a problem they have in their team. So if they found in you the leadership skills and the communication skills and the problem solving skills that can handle that problem that they are looking to solve, and you can figure it out, you have the thought process on how you will advance in that new area, then they might hire you. But if you don't show them those things that you can really figure it out, or how you've seen something similar somewhere else before that you can solve it, then unfortunately this will not help them to take the decision to hire you. Does that make sense? Awesome. Coach Mo
Great, thank
and
you.
Jonathan, go ahead please and chime in. Go ahead, Coach Mo.
No, good. I'm good, Ahmed.
Oh, you're good.
You've
Okay.
covered most. Yeah, you've covered most of
Okay.
it.
Okay, then if you're okay, Bahruz, I'll maybe jump to the next question. And again, guys, feel free to ask other questions. This is a forum for you to stay curious and ask questions that is really, concerning you. This is how we'll solve the problem. If you sit on the problem for a long time, it becomes stressful. It becomes hard for you to move ahead. This is how you will solve this, through community. So let's take, this question here for a second. Do you know which technical skills to prioritize learning? And again, this is from what I'm seeing from everybody that I'm coaching, that they get overwhelmed. They don't know which one should I prioritize first, second, third, and that's a problem. So if you can type in the chat yes or no to this question, we definitely want to hear you first, and then see how can we solve this together, or give you insights on how to solve this together. So can everybody type in the chat yes or no about question number 7 here?
So while people are chatting or typing in the chat, the technical skills, there's so many certifications out there right now. I deal a lot with folks who are like, hey, I want to get to Microsoft. I'm like, okay, that's fantastic. They're like, I have an Azure certification because that's our cloud offering. I'm like, that's wonderful. do you have any familiarity with or understanding of Google and Amazon's? And they're like, no. Or like, I only want to work at Microsoft. And the reality is that, you know, the business pages will call it cloud wars, business, like whatever they call it. But if you know and you want to work at Microsoft, and this would go as well as you work at Amazon or Google, you should have familiarity with all of those. And so it's like, don't limit yourself just to the certifications of this one thing. And I get it takes extra studying, and you don't even necessarily have the certifications, just a familiarity. So cloud is the future. Cloud is something that we constantly are forced to sell or being asked to sell. And so understanding what Amazon's offerings and how they compare to Google's and how they compare to Microsoft's is hugely important if you're in that type of a role. So I use that example because when it comes to skills and prioritizing learning, you don't want to just focus on, it's very easy to get very narrowly focused on whatever it is. You know, I'm going to get this one cert and this is going to open up all the doors. It's important to kind of have some guidance. I would not be able to coach someone on software development because I don't do that, but I know probably 1,000 software developers. And so those are the things when it comes to prioritizing learning. Don't ask your mom what, you know, or your dad, unless they do this kind of work. Like, hey, what's the next thing I should do? They're gonna be like, oh, you're amazing. You know, they should just love you because you're amazing, right? And you are amazing. But you know, that's that sort of thing. You need to have someone who's like, hey, I've had a recruiter contact me and say, you've been a program manager for all this time, you don't have a PMP. Why is that? So, and actually it was busted my chops on it. Was like, called me out on it. So it's kind of, I think it's just one of those things that it's just important when you look at and be honest about what are the things that you are missing, and then figure out how you can close that gap.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Maybe Coach Mo, do you want to maybe cover how do you do this with your coachees?
Yes, sure. One of the things at the very beginning, when we choose a job that people would love to do, so in the preparation for what I call the pre-resume homework to be done, I ask people to list 3 job titles that they would absolutely love to work, like literally jump out of bed to do. And by nature, people start prioritizing. Number 1 is this, number 2 is that, number 3 is that. So we take number 1 and we start doing this mapping of what they love versus what they have today. Okay. And part of the exercise is, well, I'm trying to figure out if I am okay with what I have or there's a gap between me and the market. So you could wait to apply and discover the gaps by trial and error, or you also have a very nice tool that I usually direct people to is historic jobs on job boards. You know, luckily we have job boards telling us when these jobs were posted, so the 30+ days are still there online. Nobody removes them, and sometimes they will tell you it's closed to application, but it doesn't get removed. So if you go and search historically, let's say 10 job postings are similar to the position that you want, and look at the requirements for the job, I believe you can derive what is an agreed on or generally required for these jobs, including that technical skills and the certificates, as Jonathan was saying, right? So you can have an idea of that, then you can start doing your plan to target and measure against that. Well, they ask for 5 things, I only have 3, right? So now the question is, do you want to take the 3? There's options for covering the 2 that are missing. You can actually start them on your own, right? You can finish them all together, or you can start them and put them with dates that you're finishing to show the employer that you're serious about them, that you're starting on them. So for example, if Jonathan was saying the PMP, so if he's put like 2025 and he wants to put that 2025 he will have the degree, somebody will say that, okay, he's put a commitment on himself that is trackable, that I know that he is going to do it. He didn't need to announce it, but the fact that he announced it means that he's serious about it. I can go call him out on it in beginning of 2025 to see what he's doing. So if you're going to put it, then you have to be serious that you're going to really work on it, or you have set the plan and you're adamant that you're going to take it. Now, if you don't have them and you don't want to take it, you would have to resort to networking and try to go from the back door, not from the front door of 200 resumes or 300 resumes online where people are comparing documents to one another. And I call it's by weight, it's like you put them all on the scale and see which one is heavier. So they haven't talked to you at all yet. So if you're willing to take them, but you don't know or you don't want to invest, you want to sort of like, let me get the job first and put the foot in the door, and then I'll take them while on the job. And a lot of organizations do actually support that. They'll support you in taking certifications on the job, meaning that they didn't require it to get into the job to start. Right? So if you do some network and then people like who you are, the soft skills, and they see that you're committed, you're loyal, you're really keen, you love this area, then they can give you a break and say, you know what, we can bring you on, but within 1 or 2 years, we care that you're certified because, for example, our customers look at this certification and that's the way we sell, that our employees are mostly certified. Things like that. So I hope that made a difference.
Yeah, thank you, Coach Mo. Samer, do you have any other insights? Do you want to share? Or?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. So if we are looking at the job post, every job post have a requirement. And this requirement is on 3 levels: education, and then technical required as essential requirement, and assets. Definitely for the essential ones, you need to complete and you give a priority for that because you won't get the job if you don't fulfill these requirements. The asset ones is something that is good to have now. It will give you a privilege in the interview, but it's not essential to get the job. You might get the job without achieving all of this now. So you can prioritize your attention to this, filling these gaps by that. Everything that is really essential for the job, immediately start for it because you want to get the job and you can't get it without it. Anything that assets, try to work on it. You can complete it while during the job. And the general rule will tell us that any job that you're applying for, if you feel that you're achieving almost 70% of the assets, then you are a best match for that job. Apply immediately. You might be really the best candidate. Don't exclude yourself if something missing during the interview. The managers might decide that you are really the best one to join them and you can fulfill this task later. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Samer. Great wisdom, and again, so definitely that's a good approach too. So you guys, got different insights. Hasib, you have your hand raised. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the opportunity here, Ahmed. So this is really great forum. I just wanted to bring up a few things here. One is, I've been in this industry for almost 25 years, and currently I'm on lookout for my job now in the process. I did my gap analysis over a course of time. As you grow in the leadership role, you tend to miss your hands-on experience as well. So that was the gap that I identified, and I fixed it going through hands-on on the various cloud platforms, AWS, Azure, and GCP. And I closed that gap analysis gap as well, and I did the certification as well. Now, what I realize is we have abundant skills in the market, and most of the time I see that when I apply through LinkedIn, almost more than 100 plus applicants get applied over there. And it will be, when I had a chat with one of the recruiter, he said there are 100 plus applicants are already applying, and it is very difficult for us to go through each and every resume that comes to us.
Yeah.
Even though we have the skill sets, we have closed the gaps, but how do we how and out of 10 by 10 skills are getting matched completely for the senior roles. Still, you receive an email after a few days saying that, hey, sorry, we regret to inform you so and so. So I love to understand from your perspective any strategy that I'm missing, even though I try to apply as early as possible, but the market is very tough. So I love to understand a little bit on this lines if you can help me there.
Awesome. I'll chime in here real quick and then maybe pass it on to my colleagues here. So again, when you're advancing in your career, you've been, like you said, 20 plus years in your journey, and that makes you very valuable experience. You have tons under your belt. You've seen a lot. You've done a lot. You can bring lots of value to any organization when you are able to communicate it well. So the problem here becomes communication more than anything. And how can you brand yourself and how can you position yourself? So unfortunately, when we are job searching and we are financially stressed, we don't really think well. And this is a problem that, again, I don't want to assume anything here, but this is a problem that most humans, go through. When we are financially stressed, our brain don't function well because we are chasing something that is really bothering us, and that's not helping us with our focus and our motivation, our mental health, and anything that would help us get into a good action plan. So my suggestion to you, Hasib, here is, first of all, define exactly what role are you really able to deliver and how this can be impactful to specific employers. Again, don't chase all employers, don't chase all jobs. That's not wise or good. You need to focus on a specific list of employers who their industry, who their problems, who how they will benefit from your value, and you are able to position yourself as a problem solver for them. That's the main area that you need to focus on so that you don't get into the overwhelming sphere of chasing each and every job and trying to cover each and every gap in all the job description. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna help you. Unfortunately, it's gonna even confuse you and overwhelm you and add more stress to you. And again, I'm not speaking about Hasib here only. I'm speaking in general. This is, I've been there. I know how it feels. I know how people get affected by this overwhelmness, and when we're not financially able to cover our expenses, that even makes it harder. I'll pause here, maybe ask Coach Mo, then Samer and Jonathan to chime in.
Okay. Thank you, Ahmed. Hasib, so what is this job title that you're looking to fulfill next?
CIO or Vice President of Service Delivery and Technology Platforms.
No, go slowly. That was too fast. Okay, so CIO I heard, but then after that?
Vice President of Service Delivery and Technology
VP.
Platform. Yes.
Okay, delivery, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, and you said you have 25 years of experience in that. Yes. Okay, so let's start the cycle quickly from the beginning. Okay, and I'll say certain things that I've experienced with people, even with your level of expertise. Okay, the first thing is you decide the role, you sit to write the resume. Now you're sending the resume mainly through online forums, like an online job board or something like that. So you're applying mainly online, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing, applying for line, because we see them all the way. Okay, and I myself came across something recently that I noticed, that when we write our resume and when we write our LinkedIn profile, sometimes I have my LinkedIn profile, I apply for a job that I'm really a very good match on it, and then I discover that the job on top saying 2 of 9 skills. Right, so I open the skills and see what am I missing, and it's sure skills that I have, but I did not remember to write, because there might be, with 25 years of experience, you might have a lot of skills, and if you open the skill drop down list of LinkedIn, you'll find thousands of skill sets, right? So you're bound to miss something. So this one on the LinkedIn, make sure you have the key skills required is also matching. But when you go to your resume, I always say this in public, for all the people that I have reviewed and worked with on the resume, mid-careers and senior, okay, specifically, I am comfortable to say that the resume represents them with maximum 40% of what they think. Okay, like their expression of their self is only 40% of what they truly are. When I get with them into the details of what they do in the job and their summary of qualifications, and I interview them on these stuff, we come out with a whole different representation of who you are, much powerful and much stronger than what they actually had in the resume. So when you read where they want to go and what they wrote in the resume, they're worlds apart. It needs to be up. The conversation in the resume needs to be up. The positioning in the resume needs to be up. So the first thing is to make sure your resume is really representative and showcase all what I call your arsenals, right? That's in the summary of qualifications and in the details of your job, right? That's the first thing, the resume. Okay, and then when you have this powerful resume and powerful LinkedIn profile, they become a foundation. Don't rely on online job applications only. Okay, and I'll say that this again here to everyone on the call. In today's market and dynamics, your online application represents only 20% of your chances to get a job. Where is the 80%? Networking. Okay, so why is it what 80% represents? Represents three categories of networking. Recruiters, okay, and I'm not talking about recruiters' websites. I'm talking about talking to recruiters and creating rapport with them and pitching yourself with them so that they're on the outlook for jobs and they recommend you to the job. That's the first thing. The second thing is events. Where do your potential hiring manager or prospective hiring managers hang out? And go intercept them over there. They need to know you first before they hire you. So if you're a CIO or VP, you're looking for presidents and CEOs and all the stuff to hire you, okay, or board of directors and all the stuff, you need to network with people at that level. The third thing is your network, your close network, your colleagues, relatives, friends, and all these things that have known you for years and years, and they can stick their neck out for you and try to get you a conversation with these prospect hiring managers, but within your network. You know, when you go to events, these people you meet in events, they don't know you. You have not seen them before. Okay, you're gonna get to know them, but your network of 10 and 15 and 20 years friendships and ex-colleagues and all the stuff, these guys know who you are. They know your caliber very good. They can actually pitch for you at somebody, and then you can start getting interviews. So get off as soon as possible. Get off solely relying on online, because you are I'll get you the punchline on this one. When you find that it's 300 and 400 applicants, LinkedIn is very smart. It stops at 100 so that it doesn't discourage people from seeing 700, 800. They won't even apply, right? But let's say on average, Glassdoor was saying each online application gets 250 applicants. So when you stick online and stay online, you're willingly, I'm again going to say that, willingly putting yourself in competition's way. So why would you want to do that? Or why would you want to rely on that only? No, go around and get to meet people, because people hire people. They're not going to hire a piece of paper eventually, right? They will hire people. Hope that makes sense with you.
Hey, thank you, Mo. Really appreciate all those comments. Yes, yes, I yes, I
Thank you.
makes
Thank you.
sense.
Okay, Samer, Jonathan, and maybe we don't have much time, but please go ahead and share your thoughts, and then we'll jump into the last question here. Go ahead, Samer.
Jonathan, do you want to start, or I should take it? Okay. Mr. Hasib, if I really understand your question well, you have been successful for years and you have delivered a lot of high value for companies. Suddenly, you're finding yourself in a position now that you're applying for jobs and not getting interviews, or may I say you're getting kind of filtered out by either the employers, HR people, or the system. So here, where is the pain? or here is where is your current problem. You will be successful definitely in the job. So maybe there we're not looking at a gap of skills at this level, but we're looking at why am I not getting interviews at this stage. To get interviews, there's a lot of aspects that you need to fulfill. Any of them might take you to be excluded. I've seen people who's doing one mistake in the resume, using the wrong type of file, sometimes wrong things in the resume that causing them to be excluded, and they are not noticing it. So there's many reasons. Definitely you need an expert to look at your resume and your application to make sure that you are not falling in one issue or repeated steps that you are not really noticing every time. So the other part, that's we're talking about a system side. The other part is a human, which is the HR. Why are they sending you a rejection from job or excluding you from a screening or screen out? We don't know. They will not tell us. Human resources are not very nice people for job seekers. They are working for the company side. So when it comes to job seekers, if they appreciate your skills, they want you for the interview, they are nice. The moment they think you are screened out, they don't give feedback. They don't care about giving this information. So definitely you need someone who can sit in between you and the HR. That people will not tell you the truth. You need someone to tell you. It's hard for you because I know at this stage you might have tried many things and you need a second eye on your profile and your applications. Wish you really all the best and keep motivated.
Thank you, Simon. Great
Yeah,
wisdom.
just
Jonathan.
to Samir, just before Jonathan, just to add you, recently, I had applied for executive vice president, and the person from the HR reached out to me saying that your profile was impressive, and at the pretty early age, before we posted the position, we started looking to hire a person, and that's why we wanted to hire that person. That's why you were not being shortlisted, and that was the message he kindly provided to me. This happened just last week. Yes, you're right, not all employers provide me any details on that.
Thank you. Really quickly, not always you have to believe HR because they are not always honest with you. They might be only trying to be nice and give you a reason that you don't submit a grievance behind it or feel bad, and you keep motivated and apply for other jobs. Yeah. Uh, it's a tough competition. Definitely someone might have score a little bit higher, but really you don't have to believe everything they are giving. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Steve. Jonathan, any thoughts, or should we move on?
Let's keep moving.
Okay, you're good. Okay, so final thought about this, Hasib, when you're very senior and very executive, again, you need to show leadership and also, put something out there on LinkedIn regularly to show that you can solve problems on that level, So being on that level of a VP is very, very executive. You need to be able to show that thought leadership is not about the technical skills. You don't need to be technical, but you need to be a great leader and to convince people to do what you really want them to do for the success of the business and the mission of that employer that you're looking for. So again, this definitely takes a lot of muscle and a lot of work, and you need to be headhunted rather than searching for a job. On that level, most executives are headhunted. They are chased, not the other way around. So you need to put yourself in a position that you get headhunted by, again, publishing projects or thought leadership on LinkedIn or other blogs that keeps you out there, within the market. Again, like Coach Mo mentioned and Samer, you need to be discoverable to the people who can hire you. You need to, tell them, this is your problem, guys, and this is how I can solve it, or this is what I think you should solve it by. And then according, this will create their excitement to speak with you. So you don't really search for a job at that level. You create the job by solving problems and getting people to, reach out to you. I hope that makes sense for you, Hasib. Okay, so we have 7 minutes remaining, and this is great discussion. I'm really enjoying it, and I think I hope everybody's also enjoying it and getting wisdom here. Um, so maybe Coach Mo, do you want to share anything before we take the group selfie, and then maybe we can continue to do maybe one more question here?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. For the basics of the job hunt and covering all these areas from pre-resume to all the way to salary negotiations, I have a course on Udemy called the Breakthrough Job Hunt, the crash course. 1 hour course, very light course. It's usually offered on Udemy for around 38 Canadian. I am offering it on my platform for only $25. It should cover you as in you can use it two ways. One, as a benchmark, see what you're doing versus what the coaching is and see where the gaps is and try to close as many gaps as you can. The second thing, use it as also where the landmines are. Where are you going to step on something and it's going to set you back? So clear out these away from these landmines and make sure you have a smooth sailing. I will put that in the chat here, the access to the course. Okay, I put it now on the chat. Ahmed, I think that's what you were referring to.
Yeah, thank you so much, Coach Mo.
So this is exclusive to who attends this this call specifically. Yeah.
Thank you. Samer, again, if you wanna tell people how they can reach you, or Jonathan, please go ahead. And myself, I already put a link on the chat. If you wanna book time with me, you can just use that link that I put there. But Samer and Jonathan, feel free to do the same on your side.
Thank you very much. I'm going to add my LinkedIn link on the chat, and I'm also searchable on the LinkedIn by name. Feel free to contact me. I will be happy to advise and help. Thank you.
Thank you. Jonathan, do you want to do the same, or again, it's up to you?
I'll drop it in there right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is time for the selfie. If you're ready to, be on camera, become a celebrity for this call, we're gonna. Can you hear me? Yeah.
No, it's getting pretty. I was doing my hair.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Oh, one second, Jonathan, you reminded me as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, it's going. It's going. There's a little bit left, but haircuts will be free for me soon.
Yeah, so again, this is the time where you become a celebrity for this call, and again, we post this on LinkedIn and other social media. So if you're comfortable being in camera, you want to join this, please go ahead. Otherwise, no pressure.
What mode are we on, Ahmed? Because I don't longer see the on the top controls changing the mode. What mode are we on?
I just keep it the gallery mode for now, because again, I don't think we have a lot of people here, so I'll just keep it gallery for this section. Okay, so I'll say 1, 2, 3, and you can smile and do whatever you would like, and be ready. So 1, 2, 3, and smile. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody who joined, and thank you so much for all the coaches who gave part of their life and their Sunday. Again, if you wanna, be kind and give them kudos or recommendation on LinkedIn, that's a nice gesture, and also that's a great leadership skill. So again, this is up to you guys. If you feel like this is, something that you enjoyed, something that you felt like you got wisdom from, definitely, if you want to, give back, just by few words, again, nothing crazy, just a few words to say thank you to Jonathan, Coach Mo, Samer. For me, don't worry, I'm good. Okay, awesome. So
he's the first one. He's the guy that sets up all this stuff graciously. It takes a lot of effort. I wanna no, seriously, because people take this lightly. I know, Ahmed, we all hate to be acknowledged, but or we don't take it lightly. But it really, I see the effort that Ahmed does to make these calls happen, and all the communication that goes out, and all the preparation behind the scene. It's something. It's something big. So I really thank Ahmed. We just come on the visit when the call is open, but he does a lot of work in the background. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Coach Mo. And again, I do it from my heart, and I really want to, see people in their right place. So thanks so much for showing up. Okay, we'll give it maybe a few minutes more just to cover that area. Maybe we'll do the next one, the action plan on the next call. So let's see again, how do you know which technical skills to prioritize learning? I think we covered this, right?
Yeah,
I think we covered
yeah,
this.
we
Okay.
covered this one. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe have you mapped out a plan to close your skills gap? Maybe already, I think this is discussed already too. Okay, I guess
Ahmed, let's take number 8, because number 8 is good, because we, especially if
yes.
we are uh, technical people, or we have been the technology. I joke about myself and say, because I've been 25 years in the IT, I started acting and performing like a computer, so like very, very highly structured, methodical, want to do things fast and in velocity. Sometimes I stop and not be like, um, what can I say? Less on the human side. It became more of a machine. So I have to remind myself all the time to people connect with people hire people buy from people. It's never about the machine, and that's why soft skills are very important. I've been lucky to be aware of that, because I've been in the area of emotional intelligence by coincidence, right? For the last 15 years, I entered this field by coincidence, and I was blown away. I was blown away about how there's a lot of things that we explain, and there's a lot of reasons why we don't achieve something, we don't get to a certain point, but somehow these things are not covered in school. What's covered in school is 1 + 1 = 2, the mathematics of stuff, right? uh, and we all sometimes notice that it doesn't matter what degree of you have, it has no bearing on the quality of your life or your happiness, right? So when we talk about soft skills, in the last 10 or 15 years, the market has been switching, right? And people moved from the concept of IQ to EQ, from the intelligence of your brain to intelligence of dealing with particular situation. And that's where when they have somebody who has the highest education, but when they sit in teams and they evolve in teams, they're not able to deliver, or the team of 5 6 hotshots cannot get together to deliver something. So that's why a lot of companies now are focusing on the soft skills. Is like, we get what you have, and now we want to know how well are you going to behave and perform having what you have. So I would recommend on that, get tuned with, if you have not heard about the concept emotional intelligence, get tuned of that, see what this field talks about, get to know who you are, work on your communication skill, your listening skills. What else in soft skills, guys? Help me here, the other coaches. So active listening,
Problem
communication,
solving, time
negotiation. What else
management,
can you put in there?
problem solving, time management, emotional
You
intelligence.
on mute?
So am I in mute? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
And another soft skill is to get yourself
I
off
can
mute.
I can hear you, Ahmed.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
I'm not hearing you guys. You're on mute. Am I the only
No,
one audible, or?
no, you
So,
cannot
Coach
hear
Mo,
us.
this is a very important skill to learn how to ignore people.
Okay.
I think it's on your side, Coach Mo. If you cannot
I
hear
got
us,
it.
maybe.
I got it.
Okay.
So hard
Okay.
skills, soft skills, my intentions were good. Hard skills, I'm not good at unmuting.
Okay, so this is a good question to pick. Thank you, Coach Mo. And again, this reminds us of the importance of soft skills. So if you want to type in the chat, yes or no to this question. Again, we want to hear you, and then maybe we'll open up to see how are we able to develop this one, because this is a hard one. It's tough to develop in few weeks or months, and sometimes it takes a toll on our job search journey. If you want to type yes or no on the chat, have you identified soft skills to develop further? Yeah, maybe we lost folks here. Oh, yes, yes. Okay, cool. That's good. So maybe if someone, want to come off mute and tell us, how did they develop them, or how did they discover them, and how did they develop them? Is that something that you're, again, if you're open to share and then get some coaching moments here, that would be nice to have. No pressure.
Actually, I have some of my soft skills is good, but it needs to be much better, like leadership and negotiation skills. And I'm trying to take courses to see what's the gaps do I have so I to manage them. This is the skills. Some of the skills, soft skills, as in project management skills. I do need to also stress on that too. So yeah, I'm working on it. That's my plan.
Okay, cool. So how do you know which skills, Ali? And again, it's okay if you don't know the answer. What are the skills that you really wanna develop for your, goal to land a job? How do you know those skills?
Mostly when I see it's common within the roles that I apply for, and things that I haven't never touched in my working experience. Like so, that's how I try to gather the skills up to a certain level to be better on it.
Okay. Again, that's still a good approach to check the job description and see, what soft skill they are asking for, and then maybe research the role and see like what are the main criteria of those soft skills, either communication or problem solving, time management, and list them down, and then again try to, be honest and score yourself versus some of those skills, and then accordingly create a plan. I'll maybe ask Jonathan and Samer to chime in here if you have any advices or moments of wisdom about this. Otherwise, we can give it away. Okay, go ahead, Jonathan.
There's a huge investment companies make when they hire people, and they don't want to make a mistake because we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars it costs for companies to hire people. And when you make a mistake, sure, you can fire someone or lay them off or separate based on all sorts of variety of issues depending on the places where you live. But then the company has to go back and reinvest that money. So I do a lot of interview prep, and folks, obviously you have to have the technical competency. Like if you've seen Barbie, when Ken walks into the hospital and he tries to like perform surgery on something because he's a man and he just figures why not, right? You need to have the skills obviously to get in the room. But one of the things that folks are going to be looking for is, I do interview prep a lot. Like I said, one of the questions I was working with somebody the other day, and they're like, the hardest question, the question I can never answer on interviews is tell me about a failure and what you learned from it. And the person legit looked at me stone cold in the face and was like, well, I've never failed at anything. And I was just like, all right, we're done here. Like, because if you say that legitimately in an interview, like, I mean, I might continue the interview because I have to continue the interview in order to finish the process. But there's absolutely no way in a million years I would ever want to work with somebody like that. If you are so unaware of who you are that you can't acknowledge a failure, I don't highlight and spend a ton of time when I'm interviewing talking about my own personal failures, but you've got to be able to show that you have that ability to grow. And so just one example of how we're really looking for fit. We're really looking for someone who, if you walk in and you just expect it to be yours, it's so hard. And so interview skills are huge. And there's lots of ways to prep for them. Google the questions, Bing the questions, prep an answer, film yourself doing it. But yeah, those soft skills are huge. If you talk over me in an interview, like it's not a power position thing, but if I'm asking you a question and you're already interested in answering before you even had a chance to finish, those are things that you see and you notice as you start to kind of develop. I'm in my 40s. It took me a long time to get here. The person I was in my 20s is not somebody I would even hire today or somebody I would even want to work with. And so that's about my development. That's about my growth.
Thank you, Jonathan. Samer, maybe final words before we end up here.
Very quickly, I would say when a job seeker looking for a job it's a small problem. And I'm sorry, I'm not saying that to reduce the tense on you or something, but you have a lot of employers in the market you're applying and you don't really care if they are good or bad. You can try. You can go there and try them for 3, 4 days and to say, I'm changing my mind. I don't like you guys. I'm leaving. And you get paid for these 3 days. A big problem is with the employer when they are looking for a candidate. And let me tell you, interview panel are going out from the meeting with the candidate sweating because it's a very stressful experience for them. And there might be a person beside them who is mastering how to do interviews, and they can maybe get a wrong idea and take a decision, hire them. They cannot change their mind easily later unless there's serious reason. So for you, and I will recall what Coach Mo have mentioned earlier, you have to be better than your skills and resume. When you present yourself in the resume and in the interview, you have to master how to present yourself, and that is very essential. I am doing preparation for interview. I'm helping a lot of people to practice how to interview. You cannot wait until you go for interview to practice in real interview. That's a big lose of opportunities. You need to practice before and go for the interview ready, present yourself very well. I have seen many people who's stuck in many questions, like easy question and expected question, like tell me about yourself. They are not able to put all their skills in 2 or 3 minutes. And that is another skill you need to master because this question guarantee is going to come in the interview. So be ready for it.
Thank you so much. Great wisdom again, Jonathan. Coach Mo maybe had to leave us, and Ahmed, thank you so much. I guess that's it for today. This is how we do this community. This is how you will, land jobs. Hopefully, if you keep coming to this community, and also again, seek help. Again, your time is your biggest asset today. So unless you know how much time you have to land a job, you need to plan wisely on the time. Because if you don't have the luxury to discover all your gaps, you need to seek assistance with someone who can really help you with that. Again, thank you so much, everybody who joined us today. We keep doing this every other Sunday, every other Wednesday, 7 p.m. The same link. You can follow Future Career on LinkedIn to get notified by those calls, or just show up with using the same link on Sunday, 11 o'clock, and Wednesday, 7 p.m. every other week. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we hope to help you with your journey in the coming weeks. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.